There it is, Notre Dame fans. The rivalry trophy staying in South Bend. The Fighting Irish get a 34-24 victory over the USC Trojans. I'm Mike Singer, with me, Kyle Kelly, live just moments. I mean, Kyle's inside Notre Dame Stadium right now, and the game just ended. So if you're watching back, that's when we are going live here. So much to discuss. Obviously, folks, please hit the thumbs up on this video. Subscribe to the channel for more content. Again, Notre Dame knocking off USC 34-24. My initial thought was, wow, those odds makers, this game opened at 7.5 and it ended right around 9.5, and Notre Dame covers that, winning 34-24, a game in which CJ Carr finally looked human, and Notre Dame still puts up 34 points and rushes for 306 yards. Jeremiah Love is unreal. JD Price scores on the 100-yard kickoff return touchdown and then runs for 87 yards and has a rushing score. Hats off to this Notre Dame football team getting that signature win. Is it going to be a great win across college football? Maybe not. USC is going to drop out from the AP top 25 poll after this one, but still, Notre Dame needed a resume building victory like this, and they got it. Massive win for the Fighting Irish, Kyle Kelly.
Yeah, big time statement win. And sorry if my voice is a little quiet. I am in the photo workroom here at Notre Dame Stadium. I spent the first half down on the field shooting photos and, watched most of the second half from here. But I'll tell you this, Mike, I was obviously on the field pregame for pregame warmups and, like I mentioned, down on the field for the first half. And I knew right away when Jeremiah Love had that 63-yard or whatever it was rush that this was going to be the Jeremiah Love football game. I tweeted it out. I said, I think this guy's going to go for 250 rushing yards. And after I said it, I was like, well, maybe 250 rushing is a little unrealistic. I felt like I should have went with all-purpose yards. And turns out after this one, I think he did eclipse so he had, I think, 228
and 228 and then 37. So yeah, he hit 250.
265. Yeah, no, 265 all purpose. So this is was a legacy game for Jeremiah Love, his first 200-yard rushing game.
I'm about to lose my mind. I'm sorry, Kyle. I'm about to lose my mind. If you are coming into the chat and you're saying was Drew Pine at quarterback, this is a USC fan, right? Are you a Michigan fan, Phil? Get the hell out of here. What are you on? Notre Dame just beat USC by 10 points, and you're let me go into the post-game show and shit talk CJ Carr. That's the take. Get the hell out of here, Phil. You're not welcome here. Sorry, go ahead, Kyle.
No, this was the Jeremiah Love game, and I mean, ironically, my next talking point was going to be that, this was a game that they needed Jeremiah Love because CJ Carr was not sharp. We saw it early on. He missed a couple easy throws. And Jeremiah Love came through. Jadarian Price came through. Christian Gray at the end of the game, after getting picked on all night long, came through. This is one of those wins. It's just it's a culture win for Notre Dame. They faced a lot of adversity throughout this one. The game didn't get postponed, but the warm-ups were postponed. Yeah. Weather was such a big talking point here. There was a lot of animosity, believe it or not, at Notre Dame Stadium tonight, and Notre Dame prevailed with a much needed win. And now they've positioned themselves after this one as if they win out, we're going to be talking about Notre Dame being in the conversation to host a college football playoff game.
Yeah, absolutely. So, yeah, Carr, not his best game by far, but dude, the hats off to him on the rushing touchdown. I think that Notre Dame actually started cooking a little bit on their third and fourth and shorts. We'll talk about that more in this show, I am sure. But that was a positive for me. It still wasn't great. Notre Dame was 3 of 11 on third downs, but 1 of 2 on fourth downs. Hey, they at least got a couple. So they're figured a little things out there, a couple things out there. Jeremiah Love had a couple, third and fourth and those types of runs. But it was not his best game. Obviously, the rain and it really affected Noah Burnett too. I mean, he had a couple of shanks on kickoffs. He missed an extra point, missed a 31-yarder. But still, man, just all these things and Notre Dame getting out on a 10-point win. I really don't give a damn about some of these like negative things right now. It's just not the time and place. Get go. Really appreciate the 5. He said, "Let's go." We knew it would be close at the start of the 4th, but we took care of business. Notre Dame winning the second half 20-11. Absolutely huge, shutting out the Trojans in that 4th quarter. Appreciate you, Get Go. Glad to see you here. Tanner Ann said another win. Missed the last few streams with some family events last 2 weeks. Good to see boys stacking up wins. Yeah, that's 5 in a row for Notre Dame. Potentially could be a top 10 team in the AP poll. We'll see, but Notre Dame just keeps climbing. Gray giveth, Gray taketh. We'll talk about Christian Gray for sure. Best 2 running backs in college right now. GG Notre Dame onward. Tin Rand, thank you for the 15. Another from Get Go. We played and cheered pissed off tonight. Go Irish. Thank you, Get Go. And Kill Face is here. The biggest Chris Ash hater in the world has shown up with a $2 super chat and is eating crow. I want to talk more about the game and the win from a big picture standpoint before I dive into specifics. But Killface, we will get back to you. We'll get back to your comments and the hating on the defense. Like, what do you make of the Notre Dame defense in this game, allowing 24 points to USC and allowing 396 yards? Well, like, what do Kyle and I make of that? We will discuss that. Eric said, y'all say CJ didn't look great. It was also important. It was. The biggest thing on CJ was, for me in this game, was the pick on the 4th and down. When it was at 4th and 4, Kyle, or something like that. It was like 4th and 3, and you make the decision. Okay, the little I think it was like a play action, throw it out the rear in the flats. That was the one read. If it's not there, you just got to eat it. You just got to go down. But the decision to run around Johnny Manziel style, knowing that you're going to have linemen downfield, because the play was that little screen to Raritan. You're going to have linemen downfield. So if you throw the ball, even if you throw a touchdown, it's going to get called back. So just eat it, bro. Just throw it out of bounds and still eat that penalty. Or just go to the ground, lose 10 yards. It's fine. Kick a field goal. But that was just really, really poor. But otherwise, look, he just missed throws. That was the one that was bad. But otherwise, the car's fine, guys. So there you go. Super Saiyan Nick says, I think we played great. USC was helped. Yeah, Notre Dame 8 penalties, 96 yards. USC just 1 for 5. I mean, if that's what you meant by that, Nick, I mean, some of those Notre Dame penalties were definitely real penalties. There's a couple where I didn't really like, but the refs were just blind on. But thankfully, you have, for just casual observers of the game of football, we have the replay system, because, I mean, wow, some of those were pretty bad. Kyle, I've been talking for a while. You have any comments here?
Kind of. I was actually just doing some recruiting reporting that I threw on the loose emoji message board, so that's not really the topic of tonight's show. But if you're interested in checking that out, you can hop on there. But yeah, I mean, I feel like kind of my main takeaway, as I summarize in my opening, was just that. I mean, I feel like the St. Louis boys really won this one for Notre Dame, Christian Gray and Jeremiah Love. Who would have thought that earlier in the game you could say that Christian Gray was a part of one of the reasons why Notre Dame won? Because it looked like that he could have been one of the reasons why they lost, because they picked on him all night. This was the 2nd straight year that, he had a really tough game against USC. And then the other thing that just popped in my head is we cannot discount the way the momentum shift and the way the tide of this game turned with a Jadarian Price kickoff return touchdown. That reminded me a lot of the Sugar Bowl last year when Jaden Harrison had that touchdown coming out of half. This one came at a time as soon as USC just scored, they were starting to get some of the momentum back, and Jadarian Price just absolutely ridiculous. Right time to get that one in the end zone. Notre Dame needed that. They needed that big time. So, I mean, even though that this was a more of a Jeremiah Love game, and coming out of the backfield and on offense, Jadarian Price still played his role in a pretty big one too.
Yeah. Tim says, wonder what the recruits are thinking. We will certainly have plenty of reporting on that in the next day. My wife just texted me. She knows what I'm doing. I don't know why she's texting me. And there's another comment. Is Strauss all right? I mean, he played. He got hurt. Kyle was on the field at the time. Kyle, you said it was pretty. Oh, Kyle just popped out. It was pretty bad, but I think he played the rest of the game. So, folks asking for the status of Billy Strauss, guys, I have no idea. I'm doing the post game show, but I can't imagine Marcus Freeman is going to have some kind of announcement to share on it after the game. But Strauss didn't miss any snaps, did he, Kyle?
He might have missed a few, but I will say this.
Oh, when Absher came in. But he played the rest of the game.
So the fact that Billy Strauss finished this game, because I was on the field and I saw that injury happen, and he was in a lot of pain. I felt it was going to be a serious injury because he immediately grabbed his knee.
He got hurt at the end of the game. Someone's saying.
Strauss did? Did he get hurt a second time?
Apparently. All right. Jeez. All right. PT OOT. You can leave. Yeah, I missed that. I missed the end of the. But okay. All right, guys. I don't know though. I don't know. I'm not. You want me to call him? You want me to call Billy? I don't know, guys. Well, I'll let you know when we know. Moving on. How about a shout out to the offensive line though? Strauss aside, Joe Otting, tip of the cap for him. Strauss did battle his ass all game. I mean, the broadcast crew was talking about that a ton. How about 306 yards for the Notre Dame rushing offense? Then how about the Notre Dame defense? 68 yards. USC had a sack-adjusted rushing average. See this on the right side of the screen of 2.9. So that means taking out the sacks, USC ran for 2.9 yards per carry. Compare that to Notre Dame's 7.3. Very, very impressive.
Can I make a point on that, Mike?
Yes.
They did, Notre Dame, those statistics came without Gabriel Rubio. And I know that USC was without their top two running backs who've been out for the year, but I mean, USC, I was watching that USC-Michigan game last week, and USC was successful running the football. Can't say the same thing tonight.
Yeah. Let's go through some talking points of the game. How about Leonard Moore shadowing Mekhi Lemon for so much of the game? And, the one time that was like, I feel like it was like 90% of the game. And then one time he was not. Christian Gray just happened to be on him. And it was a tough night for Christian Gray. It was a tough night. And listen, this is the thing about Notre Dame's defense. All right. Early in the season, Notre Dame was playing more zone. And what do we say as a Notre Dame community? Stop playing so much zone. Play man. Do what Al Golden did last year. So Notre Dame starts playing more man defense. And it works. What do we want as a defense? We want to be attacking, right? We want aggressive, physical, attacking defense. It's all great, but there's a give and take to everything. When you play man defense across the board and you bring a guy and you just have one safety playing middle of the field, your corners are exposed. You need Ben Morrison. You need a Leonard Moore because those guys are just first round type talents, right? They're just good. Go ahead.
Part of the reason why Christian Gray gets picked on so much is because Leonard Moore shuts down.
You're not throwing at Leonard Moore?
Yeah, that's one of the reasons. And Notre Dame held Mekhi Lemon to 2 catches for 28 yards in the first half. We're talking about one of the top wide receivers in the country, and we don't see Leonard Moore, work out of the slot. And Marcus Freeman told reporters earlier this week when asked if they would line Leonard Moore up in the slot, and he said, "You don't rob Peter to pay Paul." I think that was his quote. So that was a big surprise, and he was successful in the first half. They started to move around Lemon a little bit more in the second half. That's when he had more success. But yeah, that
Yeah.
Leonard Moore, another great game from him.
Yeah. 100%. Maevo was 22 of 42, so it's 52% completions. Had 2 picks, threw for 328, but I mean they were going to have to get some yards somewhere because they weren't getting it on the ground. Average yards per play by USC 5.6. Notre Dame's was 6.3. But yeah, I mean Christian Gray
I got
is
another talking point for you,
okay.
Mike,
Go
if
ahead.
you
Go
want it.
ahead.
No,
Please.
I mean I know this is your post game show, but I'm just thinking things are running through my head.
Yeah.
How we gone 15 minutes without mentioning a Don Shula?
Talk about him. Oh, actually, just one more thing on Gray to finish my thought before we move to Schuler. Unless you are Christian or excuse me, Ben Morrison or Leonard Moore, and you're getting thrown at a ton, this is going to happen. It's not excusing. There were some bad. I mean, he was like 4 or 5 yards apart from his receivers. Some bad moments. And the two that come to mind the most are the one reason man coverage against Lemon, and then the touchdown. But I mean, this is the Notre Dame defense. Like this is the experience. You are going to allow big plays when you are so aggressive and you leave non-Leonard Moore guys in one-on-one. It's just what's going to happen. But the hope is that you offset that with enough havoc plays to make it work. And let me say something. USC had scored 30 plus points in all of their games. What were they, 5-1 coming to this game? It's 30 plus points in 6 games this season. Notre Dame's held them to 24 and just got a 10-point win. So, in Christian Gray, there were bad moments, but he did. I mean, he's leaving Notre Dame Stadium tonight with 6 tackles, a TFL, a forced fumble, a couple pass breakups, and the interception. So, actually, Kyle, before we go to your other notes, Gecko says, can we talk about Love trash talking all night? Loved it. As long as there's no penalties. Seemed like he got close a couple times, but we will absolutely take it. Yes, love the heated rivalry aspect of it for sure. Brandon, unsung hero, Joe Otting in his first start. Really appreciate you, Brandon. Absolutely agreed. Yeah, if the center is not really a talking point, it's a good thing. Like wet ball, first start, no snapping issues. Yeah, hats off to Joe Otting. Thought he played well. I mean, if Shrouth is out for any extended period of time, knock on wood, right? It's in your entire interior offensive line that you would have hoped for before the July 4th weekend is gone. Between Jagusaw, Craig, Shrouth. That's crazy.
2 years in a row.
Yeah, wow.
Basically, I mean, they were without Craig and who's the starting guard that got hurt last year? I'm drawing a blank, but there was a lot of. I mean, Rocco Spindler played, a lot as a backup, and
Right.
there was a lot of O-line reshuffling last year as well.
Yeah.
So
yeah. Brandon, appreciate the 5. More points left off the board. We'll take that one. Yeah, I mean, really for both sides. I mean, the Lincoln Riley's call to that end around was just so incredibly dumb. And looking at the play design too, I only saw one receiver on the route, and he didn't even really run a route. I think it was just hope that Christian Gray gets sucked in and you throw it over. That was really, really bad. Ryan, appreciate the 3. Austin with 5 says USC will never learn their lesson picking on big play Gray. Looked like a psychopath on the sidelines afterwards as well. Now, the Gray interception didn't lead to points, but it led to the game was pretty much over at that point, like in terms of momentum. That's at least how I felt it. Just looking back at it. Cal, if you have any thoughts on these, feel free to unmute yourself. What's up?
no, you last asked me for a talking point, and I know I interrupted you, but it was just that.
Yeah. Let me get to that. Look, I got 3 more super chats.
Sure. Yeah.
Craig with 5 says love it. USC heading back to California with their heads down and out. There was a report from Nicole Auerbach of NBC that the 2 programs are looking to do like a 2-year deal, 26 and 27. I guess a hold up in it is USC wants it early in the year, Notre Dame wants it later. So we will see where that goes. Convict says, keep up the great work at the top. Keep up the great work at top. I'm so sorry, guys. I cannot read. Keep up the great work. The top team for Irish Info. Great win for the team. And keep that smile going, Kyle. You want to give him the smile? There it is. See, Convict, he smiles. And Ben says, the second I trash Christian Gray, he goes out and totally redeems himself. Appreciate the 5. Listen, this is just the Christian Gray experience. Like I feel like we think about last year. I say this all the time. We think about last year's defense and we really romanticize it. Do you guys remember the USC game last year? Christian Gray, this was the same exact Christian Gray experience. The difference was he had a pick 6 last year and he didn't return his pick for a touchdown today. It's the same. It's like this. Okay, I shouldn't say the same. The experience from last year is very similar to this year. It's a lot of bend but don't break. You're going to be aggressive, have some havoc plays, but you're going to give up big plays too. I know it's a very simplified view of it, but that's just kind of how it is. Yeah, again, Convict, Craig, and Ben, appreciate the super chats. Go ahead, Kyle. Oh, yeah. Gosh, hold on. Never mind. I lied. We've got some big boy super chats in. Walshed up wants to arm wrestle Goolsby. Good luck on that, Walshed up. I'll take Goolsby over you. But I appreciate the $20 super chat. It is always good to see you, my friend. And how about Keith Graham dropping 140? I think this is Canadian bucks, but we will take it. How about that, Keith? Really, really appreciate it. Looking to see when you posted that super chat so I can find if you had a comment. Keith, I'll be looking for you. Oh, there you are. Keith. Yeah, what a legend, says Tinran. I agree. Keith, I'll be looking for you in the comments. Ryan says, what do we do about the kicking game? I mean, what is there to do? You go with Burnett or you go with one of the younger guys. I don't know. Would you just go for it more? I don't know. Kyle, do you have any thoughts on this? And then we can get into your other talking point.
In terms of the kicking game?
Sure.
Or like the field goals? I mean, I don't know. I understand there was a missed extra point tonight, which is you can't have. That's unacceptable. And the field goal, I guess, was just a shank. I mean, I don't think it was blocked. I don't think it was missed. I think it was just a shank. And, the weather wasn't in the favor tonight of, Noah Brunette. But they brought him in here for a reason. I think they have some level of confidence in him. At least they did going into the game. I don't really know what the answer is. I think you're kind of at the point where you have to ride or die with him. I don't know if you can really rely on a freshman kicker. So I think you're just trying to hope to get the best out of Brunette, build his confidence up. He's battled some injury concerns, but Notre Dame went through this last year with Mitch Jeter. Mitch Jeter, the graduate transfer from South Carolina, he came into Notre Dame as one of the most accurate kickers in college football during his career. He came in, he missed a lot of kicks, he got hurt, he struggled, he bounced back huge for Notre Dame in the kickoff or in the college football playoff.
Yeah.
So they've shown it can be done before with Marty Biaggi and the staff. So
yeah.
Not sure whether he was battling injury tonight. He's had that lingering right hip and issue, I think it is. So, but I think he kind of got a ride with the upperclassmen there.
Yeah. Andy, $30 super chat says, go Irish. Andy, appreciate you so much. Always good to see you in the live chat. Big boy dono. We got Keith. We got Andy dropping the big boy donos. Thank you. Austin says, do we owe Chris Ash an apology? Mike Singer has been on the defense will be fine bandwagon since when? The Texas A&M game. I told you guys it's going to be fine. They're going to rebound. I said that they were going to blow out Purdue and then beat Arkansas by 10 plus points. both of those things happen, I've been saying that the defense would be fine. And Notre Dame's defense, I mean, obviously, there's some things to clean up with the past defense, specifically giving up some huge plays, but 24 points against USC. And also, look at the drive chart here. Downs, interception, fumble, downs, interception. That is 5 of USC's 13 drives ending in a turnover or turnover on downs, which I always count turnover on downs as a turnover. But anyways, that's solid. That is really solid. Really 5 of 12 because one of them was just, a 4-play drive before the halftime. So really 5 of 12 drive. So absolutely freaking love it. So anyways. All right, Kyle, Adon Schuler, go ahead.
Oh, gosh, I'm almost beyond that. I'm listening to my guy, Tyler Horka. He's actually asking a question to Adon right now. So I guess that means we do have to talk about Adon. Led the team with 10 tackles. Played really well tonight, and I felt he played well. Sometimes I never know if my observations are correct. I sat next to Jack Solwell for a couple minutes towards the end of the first half, our other coworker at Blue and Gold, and he backed me up. He said that Don Schuler is playing really well tonight, and I still don't know exactly what happened on the turnover there that I think Adon was credited for. I didn't really have a great view of it. I think the USC wide receiver, he just lost the football. Do you know what I'm talking about? It was the trick play that they ran, I think. In the second half there.
I want to say that Notre Dame engaged with him and then he tried to throw it. It was really stupid.
Yeah, well, either way, Adon Schuler is right there.
Yeah, he gets
for
the
that
credit.
play.
Yeah.
He had a tackle for loss in the first half that happened right in front of me, and that was early in the game too. That was another play like I talked about earlier in the show when we got started that I knew right away that this was going to be a big game from Jeremiah Love, and I felt the same way about Adon Schuler, and ended up being the case with him leading the team in tackles. I put a tweet out there that Pro Football Focus had USC starting safety as the highest graded safety coming into this game, and I think PFF, Pro Football Focus, needs to get to know Adon Schuler a little bit better because I think he can't coming away from this game. He stated himself as the best safety on this field and one of the best safeties in college football.
Just scrolling through Marcus Freeman's press conference updates. Notre Dame coach Marcus Freeman is giving Notre Dame the team off on Monday, which is like, what? What do you mean? Back to no, they have a bye week, so they can get a Monday off. So Notre Dame does have their second bye week coming up. Just scrolling Freeman's comments. Marcus Freeman said he's not sure the extent of Billy Schrauth's injury, but he was able to come back in the game. As for his performance, huge impact, says Marcus Freeman. Marcus Freeman seems, the tweet from Tyler Horka, Marcus Freeman seems to agree Notre Dame quarterback CJ Carr was a little off early tonight, but he says Carr responded by making enough winning plays. Quote, just be yourself. That was Freeman's mid-game message to CJ Carr. Marcus Freeman to Christian Gray, quote, nobody feels bad for you. That's what Freeman had to say in the middle of the game. Gray responded with a huge interception. Freeman makes it clear he never lost trust in Gray. He was constructively encouraging to go make a play, and he did tweet from Tyler Horka. Oh, wait, whoa. What was this? Little not-so-friendly send-off from Notre Dame to USC. Former Fighting Irish safety Kenny Urlacher was in the midst of this for a bit. He transferred away from Notre Dame. A little scuffle? A little scuffle after the game? Wow. Maybe? Yeah. Yeah, probably a lot to do about nothing. But, hey, I don't know. All right. That's something.
I'll tell you this. I was at the gate for USC's arrival before the game, This was right around 5 o'clock, so 2.5 hours before kickoff. Chad Bowden, Notre Dame's former general manager, was one of the first to arrive for USC. But the USC roster was very animated, very loud. They were, very vocal coming into Notre Dame Stadium. So basically, the way it works is, Notre Dame has their player walk where the Notre Dame, players walk from the Basilica to Notre Dame. All the Notre Dame fans are there, and then when the away team shows up, all the USC fans are right there. So I think they were just kind of no, they were engaging with the USC fans, but I could tell when they were going into this game, it was going to be pretty chippy, and then ended up living up to that hype, I suppose. And Notre Dame was a little bit chippy themselves, not in a dirty way, but like Jeremiah Love was talking a lot after after some of his big runs, and Notre Dame had a little bit of an edge to them tonight, and I think that's probably one of the reasons why they were able to win this game.
Yeah, I absolutely agree. I thought it was like good and healthy. Like it wasn't, out of control or anything like that. Keith, again, appreciate the big boy dono earlier on. Still haven't seen a comment from you, Keith. I may have just missed it, but looking for you in the YouTube chat. Rick said, think USC regrets not finishing the drive before the half. Think they left 20 seconds aside to call it not try. I want to say they didn't have any timeouts or only had one, and it was a 14-13 game. It's 20 seconds. They were at, I think, their own 40 or something. It was like 17 seconds. I don't think it's odd, maybe slightly conservative, but I didn't really think anything of it. Kyle, do you have any thoughts?
No, I felt I'm trying to remember. Yeah, this was before the end of the first half that I felt like Notre Dame gave them the ball back with a little bit of time. I think they had their 3 timeouts, so I was surprised that USC wasn't a little bit more aggressive, but
Yeah.
I'm not sure why.
Yeah. Rick Palmer, appreciate the 5. Nut Crud. Wow, what a name. Wow. Maybe pause. Okay. Shout out. Okay, so now we're B-Day brothers too. Singer and I born on the same day. All right. So a fellow December 25th baby. All right. I'm just kidding. It's not my birthday, but Nut Crud knows apparently. Defense with hella performance. Shout out KVA. I don't know if I'd say a hell of a performance, but the Notre Dame defense was like situationally solid. Like they made plays in key spots, some big turnover run down. So yeah, absolutely. Hats off to the defense. Pat Quinn, I'm glad we got this super chat with 7. He said we had every right to be upset with Asher early on. Kudos to him for making a solid turnaround. By the way, Price's 100-yard kickoff return was huge. Yes, on the 100-yard kickoff. USC takes that 24-21 lead, which I want to say was their first lead after 7-0, if I remember correctly. Let's see. No, they went up also 10-7. Oh, and 14-13. Okay, ignore me. I'm an idiot. But they go up. No, Notre Dame was up 14-13. Double idiot. All right, anyways. USC goes up 24-21. 4 minutes before that, Notre Dame was up 21-13. So they flipped the game like that. Totally regather momentum. And then what does Notre Dame do with that offense that was very one-dimensional? Maybe not very, but they were pretty one-dimensional. It was CJ Carr struggling. The passing offense just couldn't get going. Malachi Fields had 1 reception on the night. It was just poor from what we've come to expect from CJ Carr, who was starting to get Heisman odds, right? Like plus 3,000 or something, but still. For that to happen, Notre Dame just completely regained the momentum was simply huge. And then 100% had every right to be upset with Ash early on. And let me go here. Okay, I'm going to go here. This was my tweet October 11th. So this was, I think, in the second half of the NC State game. I said, honest question. For those of you who wanted Chris Ash fired, at what point do you walk this back, or are you still on the fence? The defense has been really good since the second half of the Purdue game, and Chris Ash deserves credit. And that tweet got 170 responses, right? And the gist was what Golden Domer said here. Let's wait until after we play the best offense in football next week before we make posts like this. These performances are great, but these offenses aren't USC. Arkansas, bro. I mean, like what? What is the revisionist history? First of all, I mean, I think we as a Notre Dame community have totally discredited Arkansas. I don't know what that's about, but like, is the team a dumpster fire? Yes, but the offense has been, I mean, I don't know what they did today, if they played today, but up to this week, like the offense has been electric. Anyways, reading on his tweet, if they do this to USC or hold them under 28 points, then it's time to give flowers. Okay. I mean, do we respond and say flower time? Flower time for Chris Ash? And then do we do a little flower emoji? What do we think? Drop a rose and a bouquet? So yeah, I mean, kudos to Chris Ash. Kudos to the defense. I think that and it's not about you, like, my point on Ash has not been you guys didn't have reason to be upset with him. It is saying fire Chris Ash after 2 games would have been so incredibly stupid. It would have been the dumbest thing that Marcus Freeman could have done. He would have basically said, hey team, we are throwing in the towel on everything we've did leading up to this moment. Me hiring Chris Ash is me saying, guys, I failed you. Then I feel like the players have to look at Freeman and be like, bro, what are you doing? I feel like that is a crazy move to do after 2 games or 3 games, I guess, in that tweet's case, the original one from Firm But Soft after the Purdue game. Firing Chris Ash would have been absolutely stupid. And there's so many other words I want to say here, but I don't want to get thrown off the air.
There was an argument for it, though, is the thing.
It's a stupid argument to fire Chris Ash after 2 or 3 games, Kyle.
I mean, Marcus Freeman was pretty much asked whether he would take over defensive play calling. That's where we were kind of at after 3 games.
Yeah, and what did he say?
Don't recall, but it was probably
no.
What you're summarizing.
Kyle, just because the media asks the guy something doesn't mean that, like, oh, well, I mean, then it should have happened. Like, no. Notre Dame righted the ship, just like I thought they would, and here we are.
I'll say this about
42 points.
I'll say this about Marcus Freeman is early in the game, I saw him going over the defense when they had a little bit of early struggles. So he was engaged with them early on, and obviously throughout the game, encouraging Christian Gray. So Marcus Freeman's he's getting in touch with the right people when it matters. 4th season, I think you kind of expect that for him as a head coach. But yeah, just one of my observations. I noticed on the sideline, he was pretty active himself, and trying to make sure the defense was recovering and responding the right way.
All right, let's see what else we got. Here's something I wanted to talk about. Last year, Notre Dame had more of a 3-headed running back rotation between Love, Price, and Aeneas, and then even the Penn State guy. You'd see him here and there too. I don't remember his name. Smith. What was his name, Kyle? The kid last year, the Penn State running back transfer.
Oh, Devin Ford.
Devin Ford. Yeah, Notre Dame would play 4 running backs last year. We have not really seen Aeneas at all, except for depth chart utilization time. That's the only time we've really seen Aeneas, and then maybe some goal line plays here and there. I think that is a huge shift from Dylan McCullough to Jaywan Sider. How many times last year do you guys think that Jeremiah Love ran the ball 24 times in a game? I'm going to pull it up, but my guess is 0. I don't know if J Love ran the ball 20 times a game last year in a single game. The most times that he ran the ball last year was 19. Wait, sorry. I thought I saw 19. 16. 16 times. So he carried the ball 163. Jeremiah Love, we're talking about 163 carries last year in a 15-game season. This season alone, he is already at 124. Thank the freaking heavens. As much as I love getting fresh guys in there and everyone getting the ball and everyone getting playing time, this isn't the upward league, right? This isn't your YMCA flag football team with 10U. This is Notre Dame football. Run Jeremiah Love. Run the freaking best running back in the country. Is that crazy to anyone else? Is that 7 games this year? He's got 124 carries compared to 15 games last year, and he had 163. Now, I know there were some injuries in the playoffs, but still, that's crazy. Kyle?
Ironically, I was just checking out a question on the Loose Emoji message board about 5-star running back Keemon Spell, who is the number 1 running back in the 27 class, who's on campus today. And some of our message board posters are saying that Keemon should be running to the Notre Dame locker room to commit to Notre Dame after the performance by Notre Dame's running backs. And, I don't know where I stand on the running back rotation, because I kind of like the way that Dylan McCullough did it with playing so many guys, because he kept those guys fresh. I mean, it obviously worked for Notre Dame because they made it to the national championship. National championship last season, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
But Jaywan Sider's coaching style is a little bit different. We knew this right away as soon as he came here, that he was going to lean on 2 running backs. And I was wondering if he would be able to do that at Notre Dame after how much Aeneas Williams played last year. And then also Kedron Young had come along in the spring before his season-ending injury in fall camp. So I was wondering if maybe Aeneas Williams and some of those guys were going to change his philosophy at all. But then Aeneas got hurt in the preseason, and I think that any chance of that change of philosophy was eliminated. But I I love the way they run Jeremiah Love. I mean, how can you not? Because they needed him tonight. I said it from the onset that they needed a Jeremiah Love performance tonight. CJ Carr was not on his A game. Especially as the conditions picked up here. It was getting risky to throw. Plus, CJ had that terrible interception early on. I think CJ is going to be kicking himself for that one for a long time.
Yeah, he's so competitive, but he's really got to learn to channel the I want to win so bad. Like, sometimes, dude, you can't win the game. You can't get 7 points on every play. Like, I think sometimes he's just really trying to force things. And, look, 16 of 26, 136 yards, touchdown, and a pick. We've seen that game before and Notre Dame quarterbacks, right? But and he had the rushing touchdown, but still score 34 points with that just speaks to how good this offense is. I mean, pass pro was fine, right? I think USC sacked them once. Oh, and it was CJ's fault. Anthony Knapp rode the defensive end, towards the field goal, and CJ spun right into him. CJ's got to step up there.
I saw that right away.
Yeah. So, all right. Chris Ayers is losing his mind in the chat about Matt Jeffrey playing. I did find that a little odd that this is all of the sudden Matt Jeffrey breaks into the lineup as an H-back. He was a walk-on. I believe he's on scholarship now, or he might not be. I don't know the technicality behind it, but I've heard really good things about Matt Jeffries from Cheshire, Connecticut, 5'11", 195 pounds, redshirt freshman. But why is he playing instead of Chris was talking about Cam Williams? Now, Matt was basically an H-back. It's not like, why is he playing over Cam Williams? Why is he playing over like a Jack Larson or James Flanagan? I don't know. But I'm not going to like try to disparage him and this staff's decision. I mean, he seemed to do fine when he was out there. My biggest thing is when it was 12 personnel and your two receivers were Malachi Field and Matt Jeffrey. It's like, obviously you're running the football. Like I didn't understand, but otherwise it's really not a big deal. He can absolutely play, and he was there to block, which is fine. But I didn't get having him as a wideout in 12 personnel. I thought that was a little strange.
And they used Cooper Flanagan tonight too. He made his return for the first time since
With Matt too.
So yeah, you're right. Yeah, I don't know. I wonder if Notre Dame maybe feels like they were supposed to get a little bit more about more from Ty Washington as a blocker, because that does seem strange to me.
Yeah,
I mean, they obviously saw something in Matt Jeffrey in order to use him in that manner.
Yeah.
In that manner. So
yeah. I muted myself instead of muting you, Kyle. Pat with the 7 says CJ deserves a break tonight. He's been a stud, and we didn't need him to be stellar tonight. I mean,
still first-year starting quarterback, man. I mean, very few guys go out there and play 12 really good football games. You know, it's
one of those things where it's like, it's just like with dogging Ash after a couple games. It's like, sometimes like the truth is just in the middle, folks. Like when it's really, really good, sometimes it's not as good as you might think. Or if it's like really, really bad, it's probably better than you think. It's not always true. You could be like a Penn State fan right now. I mean, that's pretty damn bad. But with CJ, it was fine. It was obviously his worst game of the season, but he's going to be fine. CJ Carr's going to be fine. Don't worry about him. So yeah, Pat, I agree with you. But I mean, then you don't want to like defend him to no end. Like he made some bad decisions tonight, and you have to call it out. It is a very loud door, and Kyle just had to step out. So I think we just got another super chat. Don't see it. Is Cam Williams a bust? Left Twix. I mean, he's a redshirt freshman. We just got to wait and see on that. Oh, Houston said, any recruiting info, who's in the house, etc. Good thing that we cover a lot at blueandgold.com on the recruiting front. So go to the website and, I mean, look at this, brother. We had visitor preview on top of visitor preview, a commit watch article, some scoop on a Penn State commit setting a Notre Dame visit. I wrote an article a couple days ago, the 10 most important Notre Dame recruiting visitors for the USC game. It is midnight, so I'm not going to be blowing up recruits' phones right now. But you better believe tomorrow, Kyle and I will have a ton of recruiting coverage, and intel articles, interviews from the visitors. I mean, it was, Kyle, you wrote 4 5-star targets on campus, plus a couple of 5-star commits. So, I mean, you had a half dozen 5-star prospects on campus, and that's never happened in the Marcus Freeman era.
Yes, I was talking to our photographer, but I guess my understanding we were just touching on recruiting, and I can say that for the most part, all the top targets, important guys were in. 5-star wide receiver Jameer Brown, committed to Ohio State. He made the trip. Keemon Spell, the number 1 running back in the country, 5-star, he made the trip. 5-star edge rusher David Jacobs, he was here. They all sat together, Jameer Brown and David Jacobs and Keemon Spell. So they were all there, and the recruits gutted it out, especially in the second half. I saw them all down there.
On the TV, it's hard to see like just how hard it was raining. Like, how bad did it get?
In the second half, definitely picked up and toward the end of the game, like in the fourth quarter, that's when it started downpour a little bit. But yeah, I avoided being out in the elements in that second half because I didn't want to come into this post-game show looking like a wet dog.
Ryan B, really appreciate the $2 super chat. We are we're gonna end the show there. Please hit the thumbs up on this video, subscribe to the channel for more content. This is the show lineup before you guys go. 4 p.m. Eastern time tomorrow on Sunday, right? We're gonna have time to reflect and bring in a whole roundtable discussion. We will have myself, I'll host. Eric Hansen will be with me, and then a couple other blue and gold staffers. I don't know who yet, but we'll have a roundtable discussion. It's great. Look at the AP top 25 rankings. Eric Hansen is an AP voter, so we'll talk about his ballot. So that'll be great. Monday night, I believe we will have the Robbie Thomas show. When he does the post-game show, we usually don't also do the Monday show with Robbie. But since Robbie's obviously not on with me today, we're going to go live on Monday nights with Robbie Toma. Tuesday night, Blue and Gold show. Myself, Eric Hansen, Landon Tangwall will be back with us again this upcoming Tuesday to break down some film. Wednesday, Notre Dame six-pack show at 5 o'clock. We'll take 6 topics and 6 minutes to discuss each of them with Jack Sobel and Tyler Horka. Recruiting show next Thursday, 1 p.m. And then we'll do it again. Wait, no, there's no game next week, so no post-game show. But that will be the show lineup. Tons and tons to discuss. Plus, post Marcus Freeman press conference. Nope, no press conference on Monday either. So no Monday video. But Kyle and I will do like a recruiting video on Monday or Tuesday. Just lock in on this YouTube channel. And folks, seriously, you got to go to Blue and Gold. Check out all the post game content. Head to the websites and get updated on all the recruiting updates from Notre Dame's big 34-24 victory over the USC Trojans. Really appreciate you all for tuning in. Fun show tonight. Thank you, Keith. Thank you, Andy. Thank you, Walshed Up, and others for the super chats tonight. We are going to end the show there. Really appreciate you all for tuning in, and we'll catch you next time.